Hey guys, welcome back on my channel. It's been a long time since I uploaded a video, and it's because I just did not have the energy to film. There were a lot of things happening in my professional life, in my personal life, out in the street. Sometimes when it rains it pours, and it just felt like one of those phases in life when everything goes wrong. And the last time that I felt so underwater, I think, was the period of January to March 2018. I can vividly remember that period because it was hell, and this was exactly the same. Like, I felt that I didn't even have something to go to relax, and so I just did not have the energy to pick up a camera and film. I did try a few times actually to vlog, and every one of them ended up in me being extremely sad or looking defeated or just not wanting to even look back at the footage. So I just needed to wait until I was at an energy level that was okay for me to pick up a camera and film, even if that means going with something so low stakes as filming an empties, because I need to get back into my groove. Before we get into the empties, because this is just an excuse for me to get started on having my camera, it's like the least resistance route. I think that there were a lot of things happening around me, and because I am typically a very an introspective person, I tend to think a lot, ruminate all the time, etc. When I have 2 or 3 things on my plate, it's usually enough for me to be overwhelmed. But when I have a lot of other things, it just ends up being sort of a cycle in my brain that just would not shut down. And I felt that letting go of a few things allowed me to focus on others. So letting go of my channel and my social media presence for a while helped me find a little bit of energy to have some of the deeper discussions face to face. Well, I mean, in my real life, not in my social media life. So whenever there is a topic that is serious enough, of course, there is value in talking about it on social media, but there is also more value in talking about it with my family, with my friends, and with people who I interact with very, very closely. So I am doing much better. I think I have a little bit more energy. I'm still drowning in stuff. As an example, today is a Thursday, and I was meant to have this afternoon off and tomorrow Friday off. But it's now 4 p.m. and I'm still working. Part of it is because I don't know what is happening with these cars. I hate when people do this. I just hate it. It's so jarring, especially at night. I was saying that yeah, I've had a lot of things on my plate, and there are some things that you just cannot turn away. When people want to have a specific discussion and you know that it's going to help them, you just go for it. And so I have been extremely efficient, but I have never had as many things put on my plate as I do now. So although I'm on vacation, I just could not finish things. There are 2 big things that I need to finish, and I still did not manage to do that. And there's only so much I can do. And so me sitting down and filming a video was just my way of thinking, okay, there is one thing that I always did just for myself that will make me feel like I'm reclaiming at least part of my vacation day today. And that is to just sit down, film a video that is me showing you my trash and commenting every now and then about what's been going on in my life. And that would be a break, because I cannot even go out because I'm expecting a delivery that I never received the confirmation for. So I'm hoping I will get it today. But yeah, these kind of things, like even on my day off, I cannot go out because I'm waiting for a delivery. But at the same time, it's very difficult to disconnect because I have my laptop here, like in my eyesight. And that has been the theme in the past few weeks. I have been unable to separate my personal life with my work life. Everybody says, yes, you need to have the work-life balance, but when you have so much going on, I just felt it was very difficult for me to unplug, because I believe in the importance of what I'm doing. And that is why it's difficult to just say, no, I'll just stop at this time. Because I know doing one more thing actually makes a difference. So that is the general state. And one of the outcomes was that I was extremely tired. So one of my first empties is actually Berocca. I had been following, like using my multivitamins all day, every day for ages. But then during the past period, I just felt like I needed to use Berocca. I'm not sure whether it has worked or not, or whether it was just a placebo effect. But that's just one of the things that I had been doing. Usually around 3 or 4 p.m. I have run out of mine, but I'm not going to rebuy it just because I know I am taking a lot of multivitamins. I just needed the boost during the times where I could barely keep my eyes open. And I was during that period also using caffeine. Like I would drink coffee to help, not too much, just a cup or maybe 2 a day. But I had some health issues that made it impossible for me to have caffeine without being extremely ill, and so I had to switch to decaf coffee. So that wasn't very nice. But I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still not 100%. I would say I'm like a 90% back. And obviously there is a heat wave, which is why I'm so shiny. It's over 30 degrees right now in London, and I have my windows closed because I need to work. I need to focus. And I have a lot of people downstairs who are just talking loudly and smoking and meeting for drinks all day, and actually also at night because now the day is longer. And it's just very distracting, even with my noise cancelling earphones. So I have to suffer through the heat if I want to get work done. Otherwise, I just can't get much. During this period, I have actually maintained my skincare and my makeup routine perfectly. It has been one of the things that just gave me that comfort of knowing that there is at least one thing in my life that I have control over and I can do consistently. So as you would expect by using something all the time, I ended up finishing a couple of my skincare products. So I finally finished my Vanilla Clean It Zero cleansing balm. I have now replaced it with another one from Mamonde. This was just, it feels like lard. It reminds me of Take the Day Off by Clinique. And it doesn't really have a scent. It's just a lot of greasy feeling to remove your makeup. I had actually toyed with the idea of whether or not I should be wearing makeup, especially during the time when I was feeling really, really down and I was just... But then I remembered that the reason I actually wear makeup is because I find it almost meditative, and that also happened this morning because I had to wake up super early to try to work on something, which I didn't finish, before I got into a series of calls. And I remember as I was applying, is it still on? You can't see really much of it. But as I was applying my golden eyeshadow, I was doing it so slowly, and that felt like my time. The time that I have for myself to, apply things very smoothly and just not think about work for that 5 or 6 minutes that it takes for me to do my makeup. Taking my makeup off is also something that I had been doing just to signal the end of the workday. And I have noticed that at times when I know that I'm going to have a long day anyway, which has been almost every night, I would usually around 6 p.m. or something just go and take and clean my face, do my first clean, just to take off all the makeup. And for some reason, having that makeup layer off almost signaled that my, let's say, very, very serious time of getting things done is now over. And then I can actually take my time in doing everything else, in the extra time that I work. And so even if I finish at 11 p.m., it wouldn't feel the same. That is too much to ask from just a cleanser. But as I said, I really want to explain the psychology behind a lot of the products that I have been finishing, and I feel that the physical act of removing what I usually use as my work armor while doing that first cleanse is something that definitely was therapeutic for me. And on my second cleanse, I would definitely massage my skin, and it really felt like my time by myself. Because weirdly enough, although I am just sat in my room, you never feel alone, because I have a lot of loud people outside enjoying their lives, but at the same time I have my work life inside, and I'm just in calls all the time. So it just felt that revelers outside and work people from my electronics were just invading my personal space. And you guys know how I feel about my personal space. So it almost felt like my bathroom was my only sanctuary. That's just how it felt. And I have really been enjoying spending time in my bathroom, as weird as that sounds. Like I organized it a little bit. I gotten a scent, and it has really become my sanctuary. Like I spend time there because that is the one place where I don't have electronics coming in. It is the one place where I actually cannot hear these people outside, and I cannot hear when emails ping or people just contact me. So that is where it is. Then I have finished an eye cream. To be honest, there were a few days where I would just skip eye cream completely. I just couldn't be bothered. It's one step that doesn't necessarily give me as much, let's say, sensory enjoyment as applying the rest of my skincare. So I'm not very picky about it. I was never picky. This one is by Innisfree. I've had it forever, and I got it from a Korean website. I would not repurchase it just because I cannot go through the bother of reordering this. And right now I'm using another, I think, Korean products by Wamisa Skincare, which is a line that I used to love. So I was very happy to finally get to start a new products from them. It's the fermented flowers line, and I really love that scent. Then the last thing I have in skincare is actually this Neostrata Pigment Lightening Gel. It has kojic acid, it has vitamin C, it has AHA, BHA. It's from Neostrata, which is a brand that I learned of when I was in Morocco. So I really like it. It's one of those scientific kind of brands. The reason why I needed a pigment lightening gel is because my face was going crazy. I think everybody online was talking about how they had lockdown skin. Technically, I'm still in lockdown, although it has been released. It has been relaxed, just because before I wasn't going out because I didn't want to infect people or do anything wrong. Now I just don't have the time. It's very weird, but I just don't have the time. So, which is why I had started taking these 1 days off in the middle of the week. It worked for a couple of times, but this one just didn't work because I have a workshop coming up next week, and I need to prepare for it, and the client is not ready. So this is the type of things that happen a lot in consulting. Your job is to make sure that the outcome is good. So if the team is not good, you compensate for the team. If the collaborators are not good, you compensate for them. If the client is not ready, you do the 150%. So even if they're only 50% there, you still have 100% of the outcome. And in this case, it falls on me. But I have lots of different breakouts. It's not that I've been going out in the sun. I don't worry much about the sun rays coming into my place. I'm most of the time there, like a chicken under lamps. So there are many different views, and I'm not going to give any health advice. It's just what I do. I personally don't wear sunscreen indoors, but because I'm using this, if I go outdoors, I will definitely wear sunscreen. But I've only been going outdoors maybe once a week or once every 10 days. So it didn't really make a difference. And the breakouts continued to come. I think now they have finally started slowing down. And it's because I think although I'm extremely busy, I'm not as anxious. Because I had busyness, stress, anxiety, and crushing sadness. When I got rid of the things that, to a certain degree, of the things that were really affecting my mood, now although I have 110 things to do, I'm still very kind to myself. Even with this video, I know a lot of people will be just criticizing me for it's not the right angle, or we don't see the products, or you didn't write the name in the description, or blah and blah. And that is my attitude also now for everything else. So I will get to do the things. Some of them will be good, some of them will be less good. And at this point, I'm fine with that. So that was face. And then I finished a tiny little item of makeup. This is a Fenty Beauty Pro Filter powder. The color is cashew and it's a pink colored one, and it's lighter than my skin tone. And I had gotten it for free, but I really wanted to use it up during this lockdown and finish it. And I'm going to save this empty so that if and when we start traveling again, I will just refill it with a little bit of the Pro Filter, also from Fenty Beauty, in honey, which is the powder that I use all over my face typically, unless I want to bronze up, and then I will keep it. But that's the thing. At the beginning of this lockdown, it seemed that travel was nowhere in my let's say horizon. And now that they have started unlocking things, I see people like my client who insist on having face-to-face meeting, and I am there as the project manager, having to make that call of when does it become okay for my team to go and meet the client. At what point is it worth it, and what is the risk level that we are incurring? Because obviously no client is worth risking my team's health, even if it's just the mental health aspect that you cannot quantify, unlike the physical health one. I'm just very wary of it, and it has been definitely a weight on my shoulders, because my decisions will impact more than one person, which usually is the case, except that this is something that I feel I'm less equipped to handle. And the dog comes. Another thing that I have been doing is just trying to use a little bit of different perfumes, because just stuff I liked it. So this is one from Givenchy and it's Dahlia Divin. I've had this for ages. I actually have a few of these and I had finished them. So I think this might be the last one or the one before last. So I've had this from Morocco, and I just loved the fact of having nice perfume just for me. Because there was a moment where I was having these video calls with different people, and I noticed how people were coping differently. And some of them said it was refreshing that I still look reassuring that I still look the same. I think they found a bit of continuity amid all of the things that had changed, and that was reassuring to them. And I tend to agree that it was reassuring to me too, to just feel that I am doing the things that are nice just for me. It was quite an interesting thing. Like, even on days when you don't have a video call, because I like putting on makeup, I would still put on makeup, obviously except for weekends, because makeup is only for my working days, without having people watching. And also, even if I haven't touched a person in months or come close to them, I like having a perfume just for me, because I deserve having perfume just for me. And that just, I don't know, it just was one thing that I don't wear perfume every day, because I'm so crunched just trying to get into my computer and doing as much work as possible, especially that the calls are back to back. But every now and then, if I remember and I just spray a perfume, I just feel like I've just done something very kind to myself. And it felt nice every time. So I finished that one. The other thing is, I have also been trying is the key word, to take care of my nails. I have been very bad at applying hand cream. My feet have not seen foot cream in weeks. Just leave it at that. But every now and then, every few days, I will actually, when I'm extremely tired, you know, when you get to that point where your brain is fried and you feel that you cannot process the most basic information, that stage where you're actually waiting for water to boil and then you realize that you did not push the button, when I would get there, I would just pause and start painting my nails. And something about it just feels like, amidst all of this, I'm taking time for myself. You can start to see a theme here, in that yes, these are superficial things, but they just mattered because that is the only thing I had going on for me. All I had was work, and supporting people offline. And I just needed to have a few things for me. So I had been wearing nail polish, and I have finished 2 Both of these still have a little bit of nail polish. This one has a lot more, but I have tried to revive them using the Mavala drops that I have, and for both of them I wasn't able to revive them further. The OPI one I think is almost gone. It's down to here, and I wore it a few times and then it started like getting all gloopy. And this is a color called Skyfall. It used to be I think it was a limited edition from the Bond collection, and I bought it when I was in Morocco, I believe. Yeah, because the Cajun ship is the one I got in Pittsburgh. This one I got in Morocco. And then the second one is from Avon, and it's a gel finish. And I must say, I did not used to wear it on my fingernails. That is something that I used on my toenails. But as I said, my toenails haven't had any love for ages, so I might actually tomorrow, to mark the fact that I'm on vacation, although I'm still kind of working, I might just give myself a nice pedicure, just to feel that I'm not just on my computer all the time. So that's something I might actually do. But right now I'm just wearing this Kure Bazar nail polish. It's very, very faint. I have also broken a nail, so maybe after this video I will also do my nails, and then I'll go back to work. Then for hair care is actually the one thing that took a back seat. So I continued with my makeup, I continued with my skincare. Hair care, I just couldn't be bothered. Honestly, I just couldn't be bothered. So what happens is that I wake up in the morning, I shower. If I feel like putting on a conditioner, I will. If I don't feel like putting on a leave-in conditioner, I just don't. Then I shake it and then it goes up like this. There you go. I just had no bandwidth, no energy, no willingness to play with my hair. Bizarrely, my hair seems to be loving it because I'm just leaving it alone. So I'm not manipulating it, I'm not like tugging at it or anything. It gets a little bit of a drink of water every morning and then it just looks okay. But I haven't been trying to do anything special to it. So every now and then, when I had the energy, I would try to moisturize it a little bit, but even that wouldn't be too much. I had a teeny tiny bit of this As I Am double butter cream. It's a just daily moisturizer. It's very rich and it smells like coconut. And I had a very tiny bit, and so I just didn't want it to sit all throughout summer waiting for the colder months to come. So I just ended up using it, but not in any special way. It was just like maybe on my ends. Oh, and by the way, I managed to get a hair appointment for August the 6th, I think. Something like that. So I booked it a few weeks ago. But yeah, in August I will probably have a haircut so that I have something more lighter for summer, and just to, get rid of the dead ends and everything. And that probably will be my first time actually being in close quarters with someone. Although they will obviously have their mask on, I will have my mask on and everything in the plexiglass. That will be the closest I get to someone. So we'll see how that goes. This is a hydration cream. It's the hydration styler from Moroccan Oil, and usually has a blue sticker, but I have removed it because I was considering whether or not to do a visual declutter of my bathroom. It's one of the things that I have been considering. I've been having a critical eye to the things around my house, and as I'm finishing a lot of these products and only repurchasing a few, obviously the volume of what I have around is decreasing steadily and very slowly. And because, as I said earlier, my bathroom became my sanctuary, I also wanted it to be very visually pleasing, and I just didn't necessarily enjoy having all these bottles with all the plastic and all the very, very colorful labels. And so I was considering whether or not to just transfer everything to bottles like this, or just remove the labels so that it looks like that. Ultimately, what I have decided is to not really fret over it. Instead, what I will do is that I will continue using my products, and as I have less and less things, I should be able to store, for example, my hair care in the cupboard or in the storage to the side, such that I don't have to always see it, and I can only get it out when I need it. It only takes a second to get something, use it, and then put it back. So that's probably my approach instead of going through this. But I did consider it. Then we have dental care. So this is Waken mouthwash, spearmint. It's alcohol free. This is aluminum, fully recyclable. So I have finished one. This is the bottle that I put in my bottle that I keep in my bathroom. So I will probably repurchase, just not now. It's also one of the things that now I'm trying to be better at, because we had a lot of things and products that were a bit, let's say, out of stock, or that maybe sometimes there is an offer and I buy 3, and then other times I don't buy well, etc. So it's really also about what is the right cadence for me to buy products. So normally I like to have one in use and one in backup, and right now I'm experimenting. When things finish, it's okay if I don't have a backup. So because I have barely just opened a new bottle of this, I will probably give it a few weeks, and then when I'm really down to here, then I can go and buy another one. So I'm going to try to do that with a lot of different products and see how that turns out. And I also finished a Marvis toothpaste. That is one of the things that I mentioned, where I buy it in 3 just because typically it's on offer. So that I don't regret buying it in 3s, and usually it's a small thing, so I don't mind as much as having. Now imagine, this is double glazed windows. Imagine if I didn't have double glazed windows, or if I kept my windows open. And this is why I just endure the heat, because it's just very, very loud. I don't regret it. I have renewed my lease, by the way, so I'm staying in this place for another year. But yeah, these are the little annoyances that you just get used to when you're working from home. You just know that it's part of the deal. So in hair care, I have a few like hair bands and things like that just snapped, and things that I had made myself, a DIY that just overstretched. So 3 months ago, I think, I had bought some elastics, so I do have some backups, so that's fine. But it's also good to show that even these things are consumables. Then in body care, I finished my Tia. This is a black soap with essential oils, and we make it from olives. There's a little bit of gunk in here because the other day I took a little bit of this and I mixed it with a tiny bit of henna, and I wanted to oh my god, the smell! And I wanted to recreate the scent of a Moroccan hammam, which is a bath. Growing up, I did not really go to hammam and do these traditional things, and I feel that I have missed out big times because I only found out about it as a grown-up, and even as a grown-up I actually don't go, but I would love to go to a hammam. I think it's a very nice thing. Obviously not now when everybody's breathing in your face, but I think it's the spirit of taking that time to take care of yourself, to exfoliate your skin, etc. I think it's quite nice. Then I have this soap that I have finished. It's by Kenzie. As I said, I am trying to use some of my soaps, so I must have maybe 12 or 13 soaps. They're not from the same brand. They're just things that I had picked up at hotels, things that I had bought, etc., etc. But I did not buy any shower gel or any soap since the beginning of lockdown, and I have just been going through these things very, very slowly. And I try to really be aware of what I have, which is why I have been organizing things little by little. Obviously, when you don't have much space, you have to make a few compromises, but the more products you finish, the more you're able to bring in a few things into rotation. And I feel that this has really helped a lot in how less overwhelmed I feel in my place. This random thing I wanted to show because I made a discovery. So you know how I always talk about Sultan. This is a Moroccan brand that makes tea. They don't make it, they actually obviously import most of the teas, etc. This is Louisa, this is Verbena, so it's a Moroccan product, but they obviously import green tea and all of that. So I've always been complaining that this is one of the things that I miss from Morocco, because I always tell my friends, you know, you should bring me this and rah. Obviously, I haven't seen any of my friends physically in ages, and so I have obviously started running very, very low on anything Sultan. I actually think I have 4 sachets left. And I recently got an ad on Instagram, of all places, for Sultan Tea UK. And I realized that they have a website in the UK and that they actually sell all of these teas. My favorite one is oregano, which happened to be the one that they don't have. Like, I even wrote to them and they said, oh, probably it's because it's out of stock. That's why it's not listed. So I refrained from placing an order until they have oregano. If they do, if they don't, then fine, they're lost. But I just wanted to mention it because I always keep talking about that. But in the meantime, if they don't stock oregano, I'm fine with using all of my other teas. And then the last thing I wanted to share is this candle. So I have finished it quite a bit ago. This is the third one from the Istanbul range that I had from Atelier Rebul, and that's one that I had bought when I went to Denmark with my sister. They don't burn well. I love the smell, but they don't burn well. And instead, I have discovered that Aesop have a room scent that is amazing, amazing. I'll probably show you that in a vlog or something like that, or if I do a bathroom tour or whatever. But it's just gorgeous. It's one of those smells when once I used it once, I just couldn't stop using it, and it just has made me very, very happy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go and spray it right now in my room, so in my house, so that I feel good about it. But this is my update. Yes, I have disappeared. Yes, I wasn't feeling well, and now I feel much better. But I'm having a gentle start, the same way that this video is a parallel to everything that is happening to my life. I'm taking it easy. I still have a lot on my hands and on my head. But we're getting there. So, yeah, that is all. That is all what I had to say. I hope you guys are keeping well. I hope whomever has been struggling with all kinds of issues, that you are finding closure on these, that you are getting the support that you need. I'm sorry I wasn't the one to give the support. I think I have enough on my plate, but it's always good to reach out to people who you think might have the bandwidth to just commiserate or talk to you, or just sit there in silence with you. So sending you a lot of positive energy. I hope everyone is keeping safe, and take care.